Okay, we're basically here today to talk about the liquor bills we have. We'll start with Senate Bill 2, but Jason, you want to just kind of go over some of the different liquor bills? And then I know we got a couple tweaks that we might want to do that me and you've gotten. Go ahead, Jason.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, the bill in conference is Senate Bill 2 that came over from the Senate in 2021. The underlying base bill of Senate Bill 2 adjusts the provisions to allow consumption of beer and wine at the Kansas State Fairgrounds and would allow the Kansas State Fair to designate a larger area in which patrons to the state fair could carry their beer and wine that was purchased from vendors at the state fair around in common consumption areas designated by the State Fair Board. It would also credit a portion of the monies collected from the liquor enforcement tax on the sales of that beer and wine to the State Fair Capital Improvements Fund. House amendments to the bill this year included establishing a maximum local fee that cities and counties and townships could charge for a temporary permit to a temporary permit holder at $25. The House also expanded the maximum number of temporary permits that can be issued in a calendar year from 4 to 12. And then the House also expanded to allow all types of alcoholic liquor to be sold at the state fair, not just beer and wine. Then, Mr. Chairman, there is also conferenceable is House Bill. Oh, no problem.
Jason had a question. That was up to the discretion of the State Fair Board, correct?
Correct.
Thank you. I just want to make sure we got that in there. That if they choose to do it, they can do it, but we're not mandating it. All right. Go ahead, Jason.
House Bill 2688 has passed one chamber, and that was the bill to require the issuance of a cereal malt beverage retailer license to a farm winery and a producer if the farm winery and producer had satisfied the statutory requirements for a CMB retailer's license. The Senate just made some additional clarifying amendments on allowing the issuance of both a farm winery license and a CMB retailer's license with respect to that bill. And then House Bill 2710 increased the alcohol by volume percentage from 14 to 16% for domestic table wine, which impacts the gallonage tax that is imposed on wine that is below 16% alcohol by volume.
And if I recall, that's just complying with federal.
That's correct. It does bring it into compliance with the federal definition now. And the only Senate committee change on 2710 was to change the effective date to Kansas Register.
Thank you.
And I think that's one of the tweaks where we have to give the director ABC.
The ABC, the effective date on the labeling, Jason, I think you've had a conversation, or maybe you've not, about, because they have labels already purchased, and it would be easier if we made the effective date on the labeling to be January of 23 so that they don't lose all these labels that are already printed. Can we do that?
Yes, we can insert language to that effect.
Would you send it?
Agree to that. Well, we agree to that.
Okay. And the only other tweak was brought to me by ABC that, and I think it's on 2688, was that at the request of the ABC director to change licensee, because presently it states applying the licensee, applicant, licensee who meets the requirements for a license, and we would change that to the language, a farm winery or producer who meets the requirements for a license under this act, and a registered agritourism operator is defined in 32-1432, and admitted thereto shall be issued a license notwithstanding any zoning. No, that's not the language we want. takes it back. I'll go back with the first part of it. Who meets the requirements of a licensee? Thought we were just changing. I'm going to ask Debbie to come and explain that. Would that be agreeable?
Debbie, you're right.
Debbie, this is your proposed changes.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and members. Yes, we felt after review, we felt it says license applicant, and what we're trying to do is ensure that a producer or a farm winery who already has that license can get the CMB license or the on-premise. So was our recommendation to change license applicant to licensee.
That's the only change then.
Correct.
Not the, so we're changing from the applicant to licensee. That's the only change.
Correct, 3 times.
All right, not the remaining language, because that's in there already, so.
Looks like it's just striking license applicant to
license.
licensee 3 times.
I'm gonna, the only thing we're striking is the applicant, making it licensee, and that, so we're striking one word and inserting in one word. Right. It is. President says licensed applicant, and it would change to licensee. Changing one word, from applicant to licensee. We agree?
We agree to that, too.
Okay. And just make sure I've got a clarification on this 2710. Jason, what's your understanding of that with the change of the effective date to 2023 as far as the labeling?
I would defer to the ABC director as to clarifying what the precise amendment would be.
Thank you, Debbie.
The amendment actually isn't ours, but I would like to clarify, the labels that are registered won't change, it's just the classification, so the licensee is not going to lose anything no matter when this is done. And from our perspective, that's a policy decision up to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Marianne, would you? With the Wine Institute, I believe.
Ariane Brown with the Wine Institute. We're just asking for this just to be delayed to January 1st, 2023. We had some issues arise between us and another entity, and we worked together to come up with a delay, and I think that delay also helps the director have some time to get those labels changed.
Indicating it would.
Makes sense to me. I don't know how it feels to you.
You have an understanding of it now, Jason?
Yeah, so the amendment would just delay the provisions, the amendments of 2710 to a January 1st, 2023 effective date.
Correct.
Makes sense to me.
Makes sense to me.
You good? Go ahead.
Go ahead.
And the question is, so we're changing the labels to what?
I think to reflect the new standards for the alcoholic content, because that is the percentage that's being changed under the base bill.
Okay.
Federal statute
Right.
requires that.
Right.
So, and we're just saying the delay of it until January 1st, 23.
Right.
Okay?
Okay. We're all in agreement then? Jason, if you'd insert that. Mr. Chairman, anything else?
I think probably the next thing on we need to look at later in the day, I mean, I'm good with these bills.
Well, let me ask you, Jason, of these, only Senate Bill 2 is a vehicle, correct?
That's the only alcoholic liquor bill in conference, yes.
Right. So would the Senate be agreeable with the changes that we've talked about, to put all of these in a conference committee with Senate Bill 2.
Oh, did that pass the House? Okay, Ted, you might raise that to the chair. Yeah, 2502.
Did we talk about 2057?
2050.
Senate substitute for House Bill 2057? Was that stripped out by the Senate? It's on our list here, the reason I'm looking at it. That's now animal bill. Okay, it
It originally was a liquor bill.
was originally the liquor.
Yeah, and the original provisions of that, I believe, were enacted last year. I think it was a shell.
It was a shell. That's exactly right. Now,
I will bring the chairman's attention to House Bill 2502 did pass the House recently, and that was to allow licensees located within 2 miles measured by the adjacent county boundary to purchase their alcoholic liquor from another county. It expands the territory in which they can purchase their alcoholic liquor.
and this is mostly a Western Kansas problem, where you have a club in a county and may only have one liquor store. So the old statute was that they could purchase at an adjacent county. There was some difficulty because ABC had it in their handbook. They would allow that, and the statute did not allow that. We had to revise, or Matt last year brought it to our attention. So we come up with some compromise language. And Jason, would you kind of give them the compromise language? Do you have that available? Mike?
I thought that it was actually enacted in the bill. It's, the committee took action on the language and
And it was compromise language, all the organizations.
it was 2 miles from the border or whatever.
Yeah, 2 miles inside the next county border, whether it's a adjacent border or a corner border or whatever.
So what's the language difference?
I believe right now, under current law, it has to be the adjacent county, and this allows for a more, a mileage measurement.
Inside the adjacent-
It, basically, if you got a county that's not quite adjacent, but if it's within 2 miles, then you can do it. Some of them out in western Kansas.
And it is an issue, and we've tried to, and it was a good, the alcohol.
Here, I have the language.
Okay, go ahead.
The language is, or county with a corner located within 2 miles measured along the adjacent county boundary.
Okay. I think it makes sense. I mean, I can't see a problem.
And it was brought to us by all of those folks that are involved in this, and it was compromise language. Initially, we talked about the adjacent county and one county over. And so we asked them to go back and come up with a recommendation, and this is the recommendation. They came on board. We had no opponents against it when we heard the bill.
So we just added the 2 mile piece.
Yes, basically.
Okay.
So would the Senate be acceptable to that?
I guess we'll let you sneak one in on us.
2017 would be added in. Jason?
2710?
Yeah, I'm sorry, yeah. Looking at one, talking about another. Go ahead.
My understanding is you're proposing to add 2688 with the change requested by ABC, 2710 with the new effective date, and the provisions of 2502 into Senate Bill 2.
Well, and we may add some more bills into it. Since these others aren't vehicles. That's the only vehicle we got, right? Okay. We would propose the supplement on Senate substitute for House Bill 2138, which is what you did,
2138.
right? You've added a number of bills. You added your Senate bills 255, 256.
2138 is a shell in conference right
it's-
now. Those
yeah.
provisions passed last session.
Oh, okay. Then we don't have to worry
Trying to
about that.
repass bills or what?
Yeah.
I
I want to make sure I've left conference committees when the Senate hasn't brought my attention to something, and we had to come back, so.
Mr. Chairman, you've addressed, I believe, the 4 bills that are subject to conference that deal with regulation of alcoholic liquor.
Okay, good. And then,
That's
and that's our limit. Well, you got a vehicle plus 4 of it. So we're in good shape there with those changes?
Vehicle, yeah, I was gonna say +3.
Right,
We got 2, 2502,
correct?
2688, and 2710. There's 4 bills there.
Right.
And we added the new contents, the 2 miles piece, the changing the date from 1/23 to, and then the piece that ABC, the licensures. Am I saying that right?
2710,
Yeah, the 2710 piece. Yeah.
okay. So that would be our limit,
No, there's 4. There's not 5.
We're allowed up to 5.
up to.
We only have 4.
I don't have any more. Good. Then- Well, I had the chairman of judiciary in here wanting a bill, so
It counts.
I think we're going to pass on that one.
See, these are the bills.
So we're in agreement, Mr. Chairman?
I have a question,
Yes.
actually, for Jason. Jason, on Senate Bill 2, what is the effective date on that? Is it statute or register?
It's a statute book, July 1st.
Can we make it register?
Yep.
What is the reasoning why we need the register?
Well, the register is one, it's cost effective, and it's sooner.
I think it costs more.
Well, we have to wait with all those man hours putting in to the statute book and getting them out.
I mean, is there a real reason?
To answer that. The reason behind is it's dealing with the common consumption areas in general, and with it getting warmer, common consumption areas are starting to pop up again, and with the temporary permit license, they're already starting to apply for them, and if they're gonna have to change midway, I'm thinking especially in my district, our first one is at the end of April, and so they are allowed up to 4 right now until this becomes in the statute book, versus 12, which is what we're proposing in here. And then on top of it, the cities are currently charging however much they want for a temporary permit on top of what ABC is charging, and we capped it at 25. So, for instance, the city of Great Bend, they're charging $120 or $150 per temporary permit each time, compared to the 25. So that's why I'm asking if we could get it in sooner.
And well, you're making a good case.
I'll leave it to the Senate.
Let's, maybe we ought to get some. No, I'm joking. No, we feel like we can accommodate that, just on 2710, that going into the register, that piece. Yep.
So
In
the
Senate Bill 2.
so the agreement.
Is it,
So would it be everything in Senate Bill 2 that is effective on the register? We're in agreement there?
yeah.
Jason? We are in agreement.
Okay.
Jason, how long will it take you to get the committee?
With 3 different effective dates, we're going to have to do some working on the sections to get those to work.
Want to make them all one, just in the register?
Well, we can't because we've
right.
made,
Yeah, you had the one that's January 1st, and you have other, so we'll get it worked up today, and hopefully get something.
I mean, I'm not gonna rush this one. I wanna get it done. I think this is liquor bill. It's, you know, we can sign it, but let's let people look at it too.
Yeah, I have no problem with that.
Okay.
You'll have to run it first, since it's in the Senate bill. And should you prevail, then the House will.
Okay.
So we're in no hurry with the conference committee report. I know the Senate's busy today, the House is busy today, and I think we have post audit at noon and hope we make
Yeah, I
it.
think we do. Well, we got a good lunch.
Yeah, well, compliments as the chairman. I appreciate that.
Mr. Chairman, I think the House runs it first since it's a Senate bill. I believe.
It's, you're right, you're right. Yeah, we'll have to run it first.
So if it passes over there.
So we'll wait a day or so.
Let's let them,
When do you want to meet again?
you know, I'd be willing to meet later today, on 34 and,
The two rules and regs bill.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think we've got a meeting,
Now,
like post audit.
both of those are vehicles, so we will be making a vehicle if we combine them.
I would like to combine them into yours.
I'd like to combine them into yours.
Well, I'd like to,
But we can talk about that. You said it,
I'll set it. And
and if you're off the floor and if we're off the floor, we can meet. If not, I'll give you a call.
probably be, I don't know, 4:30? Or
Every bit of that.
if you want to do 5?
Let's do 4:30, shoot for 4:30.
Okay, and then if it doesn't hit, we'll re-announce what we're gonna do
Okay.
on the floor.
When we
Okay.
get the announcement from you, we'll make our announcements on the floor. And I know Jason's going to be busy today, so.
We're gonna want to try to keep at least 1 or 2 though for us over on our side bills, just so you know. And you're gonna have another one today because the plum bill's gonna be passed, so. And it was amended in committee by my vice chair.
And if you pass the sanctuary city, I'll have the conference with the judiciary.
You can do all you want there.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's been a pleasure.